And now let's head over to Matt.
All right, Meredith, thank you. And Dr. Nancy, thank you. Healthcare will top the agenda at the White House today, where a major summit is being held. NBC's John Yang is there. John, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt. Healthcare is an area where past presidents have tried and fallen short. But later today, President Obama will say it is crucial to succeed this time to create jobs and rebuild the economy. President Obama had company for dinner Wednesday night, congressional leaders who determine the fate of his health care legislation. It was one of candidate Obama's core issues.
It is time to finally challenge the special interests and provide universal health care.
Now, he says, the financial crisis adds urgency.
Fixing what's wrong with our health care system is no longer just a moral imperative, but a fiscal imperative.
Today's summit brings together about 150 people representing groups with a stake in the debate: consumers, employers, healthcare providers, insurance and drug companies.
It's the beginning of a long and arduous process, but one that can be done in a way that brings all of those stakeholders together.
Healthcare reform has frustrated presidents and lawmakers for decades, raising complicated issues such as tax policy, doctors' interests, and hospital fees.
Each of those areas, there are hundreds of interest groups, thousands of people involved, and lots of money being spent in Washington for the issue battle ahead.
Still, administration officials and a clear majority of Americans have high hopes. This week's NBC News Wall Street Journal poll found that 78% say Mr. Obama is likely to extend health care coverage. 60% say he's likely to bring costs down.
For far too long, the attitude here, I think, has been, this is too hard, we can't do this now, we can kick this can down the road.
In Congress, there's broad agreement that something has to be done. But the devil's in the details, not the least of which is how to pay for the extended insurance coverage. Already there's partisan division. Republicans don't like Mr. Obama's plan to pay for some of the costs with higher taxes on the wealthy. Unlike the failed attempt under President Clinton, Mr. Obama is not going to send Congress a detailed plan of his own. Instead, he's going to set some broad goals and targets and let Congress fill in the details. Meredith?
John Yang, thank you very much. Melody Barnes is the director of the Domestic Policy Council at the White House and will lead one of the sessions at today's healthcare summit. Melody, good morning to you.
Good morning, Meredith.
The last time a Democratic administration tried to overhaul the healthcare system, Hillary Clinton led the charge, and it was a complete failure. That's when she was First Lady. What lessons did you learn from that, and how will you do things differently?
The first thing is that you have to bring everyone together around the table early. And in fact, that's what we're going to do here today. We are bringing the hospitals and the doctors and nurses, business and labor, bipartisan members from Congress together to sit with the president and talk about how to get health care costs under control and how to do it this year. I think the other thing is that we have to be transparent about it. We will allow the American people to see what we're doing today. We'll also hear the voices of the American people and what they believe Congress needs to do, what the White House needs to do to make sure that health care reform gets in front of the president for his signature by the end of the year.
Melody, is universal health care reform on the table right now, off the table just for a time?
Well, if I understand what you're saying, the importance to the president is that we get this done. So he walks into this conversation being pragmatic, being open, wanting to hear what people have to say. He knows that the American people are hurting, that people are worried. They're sitting around their kitchen tables. They see their costs exploding. They're bringing in less income, but at the same time, they see their premiums going up. It's affecting the bottom line of businesses. It's affecting our economic ship of state right now for the entire country.
You're already hearing the grumblings from the Republicans who are worried about the tax increases that are needed to fund this reform. Will he go it alone if he has to? Does he need the Republicans to get what he wants?
Well, the president came to Washington saying, I'm extending my hand to all of you. I want to work with you, Republican and Democrat. And we saw with the Recovery Act that we worked with governors outside of the Beltway. We worked with local legislators outside the Beltway. And because the American people so desperately want this done, we've got to get these costs under control.
I have to ask you before I let you go, Rush Limbaugh, conservative talk show host, who has said repeatedly that he would like the president to fail in his policies, has also challenged him to a debate at his studio. What is the likelihood, Melody, of that happening?
Well, it's an interesting invitation. I think that Rush Limbaugh does not represent the rest of the American people and the president. We have to succeed. All of us are in this together. We have to make sure that we have security for American families, that we have security for American businesses, that we get our spending under control so that people can have the kind of opportunities for themselves and for their children that they deserve.
Is that another way of saying it ain't going to happen?
Well, I think it's probably unlikely, but we look forward to hearing more from Mr. Limbaugh and from others as we continue to address these problems.
All right, Melody Barnes, thank you so much for joining us so early in the morning. We appreciate it.
Great. It's a pleasure to be with you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. And now here's Matt.
Meredith, thank you.